2007 and the Occupational Safety and Healthcare Act of 2007 all provide for the rights and the freedom of employees, employers, organizations, and trade unions, and provide legal standards for the management of employees, working environment, safety, welfare, and welfare in workplace. 3, that the Makueni County Public Service Board has previously disfranchised the medical practitioners, healthcare workers of the county through 1, lack and or delayed promotion, 2, lack and or delayed resignations, 3, unpaid gratuities for the contracted professional workers, 4, unfair contractual engagement with poor pay, 5, unfair distribution of workers in health facilities, 6, poor utilization of healthcare human resource and in the Department of Health Services, 7, wrongful placements, 8, staff harassments, 9, shortage of staff in health facilities, lack of allowances for medical laboratory officers, that healthcare workers has resorted to demoralized, discouraged, and cannot provide adequate healthcare to the citizens of Makueni. And 5, that demotivated staff have been resigning from the service and it has become hard for the service to get new staff. 6, that petitioners have rights, that the petitioners' rights have been blatantly and illegally denied. 7, that these grievances have been brought to the attention of the County Public Service Board, the County Executive Committee member responsible for health services, County Secretary, since April of the year 2023, but no positive responses has been forthcoming. 8, that this petition is not before a court of law, and therefore the ample petitioners pray that the Makueni County Assembly intervenes to have the Department of Health Services addresses grievances raised by the petitioners. Honorable members, further to that, I have noted that 1, the 4th of April 2023, that the Union of the Healthcare Workers, that is the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers, the Kenya Medical and Penetration Doctors Union, the Kenya National Union of Medical Laboratories, and the Kenya Union of Nurses, and others herein stated that forwarded a report which reads as follows: the status report on the long-standing labor and working environment issues critical for the delivery of quality healthcare services. This report has been jointly compiled by the registered and recognized trade unions under the convenership of KPMDU and submitted to the County Secretary and the County Executive Committee of County Government of Makueni through the County Executive Committee member for Health, and 2, Chief Officer for Health Services. And in light of that, having raised quite a number of issues which are detailed there, is that the petitioners, in detail, they make the following prayers. 1, following the aforementioned report dated 4th of April, we make the following prayers. 1, that the Health Committee summons the County Public Service Board to respond to the raised issues, see annexes herein attached, in addition to delayed payment of UHC staff in Makueni County despite other counties having been paid. 2, that the Health Committee summons the County Secretary to respond to the action taken regarding the issues raised with his office since April 2023. And 3, that the Health Committee summons the Executive Committee member responsible for health services and the Chief Officer, including the Human Resource Health Head, to respond to the matters raised against the department. And 4, that the Speaker of the County Assembly direct the Health Committee to invite the undersigned unions for further deliberations to shed more light on the matters with the aim of resolving the existing stalemate. Honorable members, This petition is signed by Dumiano Muriuki, a chairperson, Dokas Mulandi, secretary, that is of the Kenya National Union of Nurses. And then there is the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers, signed by Matthew Sila, a chairperson, and Augustus Chalo, secretary. And then there is the KNUMLO, chairperson, Anton Mambo, and secretary, Francisca Mutie. Others are Union of Kenya UKCS, with Vati Nyele, secretary, and Scholar Kimilu, women leader, and KPMDU by Dr. Okumu Charles, a Lower Eastern chairperson, and Dr. Edward Kamolo, Lower Eastern treasurer. Honorable members, in line with the provision of standing orders, this matter was presented to the Assembly Business Committee for balloting, and it was found to be of importance and of public concern, and more so related to the health care workers, and not limited to that. The issues raised here may be cross-cutting. In view of this, pursuant to the provisions of standing orders, the right of citizens to petition the County Assembly, I direct that this matter be considered by a joint committee, the Committee on Health Services and the Committee on Devolution of Public Service, and provide a response to the County Assembly strictly within the period provided for in the standing orders. Further to that, the justifications for that is that issues raised, some of them may not squarely lie in the purview of the Health Committee. That is the lack of delayed promotions. That's a matter of the Public Service Board, lack of delayed redesignation, matter of board, unpaid gratuity, Public Service Board, unfair contractual engagement with poor terms, Public Service Board, unfair distribution of healthcare workers in the health department, and unrightful placement, that is the CECM member, the chief officer, lack of prudent utilization of human resources department, the ECM, rightful placement, ECM, staff harassment, ECM, shortage of staff in all health facilities, ECM, and 10 denied health risk allowances for medical laboratory officers who are degree holders, which is a matter of Public Service Board. And therefore, the chairperson of the Committee on Devolution and chairperson Committee on Health Officers take up this matter and provide a response. Ensure you engage the County Public Service Board, the County Secretary, the County Executive Committee member, the Chief Officer, and any other person referred in, including the petitioners, and any other person that may be deemed to be important in resolving this matter. Chairpersons, you are directed to do so. Next order. Before then, Chairperson Committee on Health Officer to respond to public petition by residents of Kalamba community regarding the ownership and operations of Kalamba dispensary. Is this petition due? Yeah, due. Now, honorable members, we had a discussion of this matter at the ABC, and the chairperson sought the indulgence of the leadership of the House to resolve a pending matter. And then we hope that by tomorrow tomorrow 30, chairperson will be ready to provide the response. Latest on Wednesday at 2:30 p.m. latest. Chairperson Committee on Water and Sanitation to present a response to the public petition by residents of Kikome Village in Downey location, Kadhulumbi Subboard, Kalawa Ward, regarding negligent denial of water by county water officers in Kalawa Ward. Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. We have this petition ready. We made a site visit, and today we had a meeting of the committee. We deliberated on the issues, and we have everything ready. And through a discussion with the member of County Assembly for that ward and the committee, we request to present that petition tomorrow. Thank you.
Chairperson, take note that the petitions are out of the timeline. Therefore, please endeavor to do so tomorrow, as you have indicated. Chairperson, Committee on Culture, Gender, Disability, Youth and Community Development, to present a response to the public petition by residents of Makueni County regarding lack of representation, empowerment, inclusion, and employment of persons with disability as general disability mainstreaming and access to benefits. Chairperson. I'm referring to the Chairperson Committee on Gender. Fair enough. Oh, your microphone was on. Sorry. Go ahead. Honorable Josephine.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, sir, I've just received the response from the ECM, and our committee has not yet adopted the report. So we kindly request you to give.
What time did you receive it?
Some minutes past.
What had you requested for the information?
I kindly request you to give me more time up to tomorrow, 2:30, so that I can meet with my committee.
Chairperson, is that the first or the second letter you are writing to the ECM? Have you ever written to the ECM before? Have you ever invited the ECM for discussion on this matter? So why were you to write back to? Is this sound system working?
Yeah, now it is working. Sir, he has just given out some few minutes ago, but I remember we have been writing a letter to him and he never responded. It's the high time now he has given us the response.
I will raise this matter with the leader of the majority and the leader of the government business. The majority party of the party that we represent. I think we're at the verge of embarrassment. I do not want us to be in a situation whereby that executive committee members must be reminded to do what they are supposed to do. They were hired to be accountable, supervision, management of the department, and giving attention to the members of public through the County Assembly of Makueni or directly. If citizens of Makueni have sent a petition on an issue that touches on a docket, and the citizens have addressed the assembly directly, and the executive committee member is not able to answer those questions, then what does that mean? You know, leader of the majority, without one knowing, they may declare themselves unfit, very jokingly. So you need to, and there's a frequency in which it is a number of department, 4 or 5, that every other time you have to seek extension to communicate what you're supposed to communicate. So with a lot of respect, this is a public petition. I don't know why one should be in rush, including the committee, to give a response the last minute. Chairperson of the Committee on Health is struggling to resolve issues outside the petition period on issues that require policy leadership, having engaged all the petitioners, the respondents, the CCM members, the bishops from Kalamba, and any other interested party, the national government administration, and he has a report. Now, what is the difference between these two CCMs and the committees? So you need a chairperson of the committee on gender. You need to introspect and evaluate yourselves against other committees, and your ECM to evaluate himself or herself against other ECMs. Because then why is there consistency on particular departments? Take your seat. Why is there consistent particular departments that will keep on receiving statements And they keep on also asking for more time to answer. And when the answers come are not satisfactory, when there are executive committee members who never receive requests for information, it's because they give the information in advance or they are on top of things. So on a phone call from Githungo Gitundu, the issue was resolved. So we need to find a way of getting this matter resolved.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The government in the assembly.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The executive in the assembly.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Indeed, as per the standing orders and also the Constitution, Mr. Speaker, you read it very loud and clear. Mr. Speaker, it is not a laughing matter. It's not a light matter. Indeed, the petition is before us, and the people of Makueni wants an answer. Mr. Speaker, I undertake to personally follow up with this matter, even if it will go to the highest authority of this county, Mr. Speaker, because we cannot continue looking like we are begging for information. If someone is not answerable or not ready, then your guess is as good as mine, Mr. Speaker. So I want to undertake that I will make a follow-up with the ECM and get to know what is happening, and of course find also out from the committee what is happening. So, Mr. Speaker, I think the chair has requested up to tomorrow. I also want to support her so that together with the team, we make a follow-up and we get a response. Whichever way the response will come, but it has to be presented tomorrow, Mr. Speaker. I thank you.
I hear you, leader of the government business, and then the symbolic representative of the executive or the government in the house. I'm afraid you are demeaning that title. How can I refer you as a leader of the government business? Then you tell me after this you're going to talk to ICM. If the speaker sends you, you either talk to another authority, maybe UN or something like that. I represent the sovereignty of the people, and you want to demean it to a department. So we can't send you to department. The committee is sufficient to do that. And we cannot complain to you about a department. We can only complain to you about where we do not want to write. And because if you write, it's not going to be good. And you know where it is. So you would rather come out clear.
I hear you, Mr. Speaker, and I know the UN you are referring to, Mr. Speaker. I will deal
which
with
is
it.
that?
I will deal with that UN, Mr. Speaker, so to speak, accordingly. I thank you.
So fair enough, you are a frequent tea taker with His Excellency the Governor. In case you had no agenda for this week, then do so, and if things then don't change, we will know that the business that you take tea over has nothing to do with the people of Makueni. Yes. Fair enough. Member for Zambani Vingon Ward.
Mr. Speaker, and because I trust what you say, I've just heard you say that the leader of the business is a regular tea taker, Mr. Speaker, with the governor. Mr. Speaker, I think it would be also, fair to this House. If at given more points in time, the leader of majority is given time, to address this assembly and tell us, many of the discussions that they hold, so that as a county, Mr. Speaker, we can be together, moving together, Mr. Speaker. And I applaud him because I know when they take tea, they talk good things about this county. Mr. Speaker, they make things, they make sure the things are in order. But the only mistake is that, Mr. Speaker, that he doesn't brief us. And I would wish that through your chair, you allocate time so that he can bring the whole House into good mood. Thank you.
Honorable Elizabeth Muthuge.
Honorable Speaker, I hear what the member for Ivingoni Nzambani is trying to pursue. But you see, the leader of majority, whenever he wants to pass anything from the government, he brings it on this table as papers, as motions, and that is a briefing that can only be done by the leader of majority as a leader of government business. If you want to know the progress of any other thing, the governor will make his speech here, and we are going to debate on what the governor has been doing as the governor of Makueni. Thank you.
I think my young sister has said it loud and clear. But among some of the things we speak with His Excellency, Mr. Speaker, matters like, who has gone to Manzoni, for example, to take tea, at what time, some of these things, Mr. Speaker. So, I mean, really, can I bring that here? That is just part of the tea, Mr. Speaker. So what is so serious is what I bring here as papers laid officially. But on matters of who went where, who did what, Mr. Speaker, Manzoni, you know what I'm talking about.
Order. Honorable Martina is on a point of order.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Is it in order for the majority leader, the leader of the House business, to bring some issues which are not supposed to be brought in this House? Because we don't have evidence of what he's talking about, and we are not even, we are not understanding what he's talking about. If he has personal issues with Honorable Mutie, a member for Ivingoni Zambane Ward, let them settle outside this House. Thank you.
Before Honorable Mutie, Honorable Jackson Balu, member for Kikumbulu North Ward.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Honorable Majority Leader responded to what was asked about the tea taking, and he gave some of the things they discussed. So he did not go out of anywhere to discuss something which is not in place, because he's just responding to some of the things they discussed. ETC, etc., etc., and that is part of what he has said, Manzoni and others, and he has put it. So it is quite in order to say such. He didn't go out of way, because he was asked to be by Honorable Mutie for such. Thank you.
Honorable Alison Mutie.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is getting very interesting. Mr. Speaker, I want to applaud the leader of majority, because, Mr. Speaker, over and above what he brings to the House, he has also indicated that they talk, things like Manzoni and the rest, which not necessarily need to be brought on the floor of the House. So that's commendable, Mr. Speaker. I want to tell him that there was a time I went twice to Komarok, Mr. Speaker, and I was in Manzoni. Yes, I do not deny. Soon, probably, I'll join my brother, Honorable Malema, Mr. Speaker, of the Economic Freedom Fighters in South Africa. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, these are not things that I do when I'm hiding. And therefore, leader of majority, I laud you for your response. Thank you. And Mr. Speaker, soon I'll be in my red beret. Mr. Speaker, sorry, I forgot to mention that. And Mr. Speaker, because you are the chair, I have seen the Deputy Speaker of Senate. He comes to the House with his heart. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I would wish that you grant permission that I also be coming to this House in my red beret. Thank you.
Honorable Janet.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I'm standing in the floor of this House to tell my brother, Honorable Mutie, the red belt has a cost. And that uniform, which is being put on by Malema, has a cost. It needs strong people. It needs nationalists. I tried, and I know how it feels. So before he gets into that field, let him see me in camera so that I can prepare him. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think the point of order was directed to me by one Honorable Martina Ngosia. Mr. Speaker, whether I'm in order. Mr. Speaker, in the first place, it is the Honorable Member who talked about tea taking, and I never even said who went to take tea. I only said there are people, we discuss on people went to. So when I quote, pilipili iko kwa shamba, and it is hurting you, Mr. Speaker, I don't know, pilipili iko kwa shamba inawashia. So you can see who is getting pilipili inside, Mr. Speaker, end of quote. So I never mentioned anyone. So, the guilty will always, come out. So, and it's not bad to take tea, Mr. Speaker, including in Kempiski, including in Tawa County Lodge, including in Kusiombunguo. I mean, what is wrong with that? So is it wrong to go to Manzoni? In fact, it is promoting one of us. So I congratulate whoever went there, Mr. Speaker, and continue doing it. So those are part of the stories so I want to believe that I'm in order, Mr. Speaker. And for the sake of continuity, I think this matter should be rested and we continue, Mr. Speaker. I thank you.
Very well. I didn't know it is very difficult to account for tea. But we have witnessed. You have really tried to account. Yes. You have done two things that we have learned. That Honorable Janet has advised Honorable Mutie, it is not the red beret on your head. But the red beret is you don't buy it. It's honored. It's like a certificate. You are honored by others after performance. There's a graduation. So you have to leave it so that you don't buy in a shop. You are given. That I've noted. And then two, I've also noted that the leader of the government business, that he has struggled so much to file reports on tea. That notwithstanding, then we proceed to the next business. Chairperson, budget are done.